So, how can people make up? Because one of the benefits, obviously, of owning your own home is that A, you live in it, or you can. B, that you're borrowing a lot of money, so you've got what's called leverage, which means you've got more money and it actually supposedly working hard for you as long as it's a good asset. But that's not possible for everyone. And this is the thing that Megan and I, as property people, it's rare to hear property people say no. There are times not to buy property. There are people that shouldn't buy property, and that you'll be worse off financially if you buy property. So what would you suggest to people like that to say, but I'll be missing out on owning my own property, my own home? How can they still build wealth?
Yeah, I often ask my barber when the best time to get a haircut is, and he almost always says today. So that's something that you get a lot, right? And I think the people that are being honest with you are the people that will tell you something that's not in their interests. And so, for a long time, so back, I've just turned 30, so I'm starting to lose my hair now, so I'm getting a bit on, but. I remember when
Stop it, Owen.
Could be your mother.
So I remember when I was around about 21, 22, and I had enough money to buy a house. I worked really hard through uni. I worked effectively full-time while studying, and also through high school. I was working 5 shifts a week at the local supermarket. So I was working really hard for everything that I had. And I remember asking around, what I should invest in. A lot of people that owned investment property told me to buy investment property. And but then I was reading Warren Buffett books, and he was saying buy businesses. So I ended up going down the path of what Warren Buffett advocates for. And what my point here is that I didn't end up buying the house because it wasn't right for me. And I thought that there was more wealth creation potential early on in my life with businesses. And the reason why I say that is because I thought I could take more risk at that age. So I thought to myself, I can afford to live with the regret of potentially not buying a house and things going up. So that's okay. I can live with that. If property goes up, I can live with that. But I'm going to take a risk. So I'm going to take a risk and buy some businesses. And what I mean by businesses, I mean shares, because shares just represent ownership of businesses. And so that's what I did. And I did that from a young age. And so at that stage in my life, buying a property wasn't right for me. I was still finding myself in my career and those types of things. So there are definitely times in people's lives where buying a property isn't right, even if it's not for financial reasons. And so then if it's, if you're thinking, okay, I don't want to buy in the suburb that, I can't buy in the suburb that I want to buy in. Maybe there's another opportunity for you. And that's where this podcast is fantastic, because you can help people do that. And you've got the short course there to help people question themselves and find out where they can buy and think about that. And so those are great resources that you should be taking advantage of. But, there is a thing to be said for rent vesting. So whether you are renting and then you buy in another location, or I don't know what the word for it would be, but maybe if you rent and you invest in the stock market, maybe it's still rent vesting, but a different type, I guess.
Yeah, different asset class.
Yeah, and you can do that too. You can buy ETFs, exchange traded funds, which are very simple investments to make on the stock market, and you can do that. And there are benefits to that. Like Veronica said, they are more liquid. So if you did need money for whatever reason, they are available in your brokerage account. You can buy different things. So you can invest in overseas shares. You can invest in Australian shares. You can invest in what we call real estate investment trusts. So these are like big investors that go into property, and you can buy, investments in that organization, that REIT, or real estate investment trust. And so you can do those things as well. And that's all available via the stock market. So I think Barefoot Investor called it postcode POVOs, where you live in one suburb and you buy in another. And then, there's other people who advocate for real estate investment trusts and doing it that way too. So there's many different ways to do it. And the really important thing is just understanding that if the property market does go up, that's okay, because you're still investing in something else, as long as you're investing in something. So this is where it comes back to accumulate assets. I've heard another definition of that buy something with an exclamation mark. Just buy something. As long as you're doing something with your money, then that's going to be doing better than doing nothing.
I think it has to be well thought out, though, doesn't it? And well advised.
Absolutely. Like, don't just go and buy Bitcoin or something like that because you've heard about it online.
We're not big advocates of buy anything just because.
No, but my point is more so that
if you don't act.
Buy something
act on
that
the
is an asset. And, whether that's, in my case, it was buying businesses via shares, or whether it's, a first home buyer buying a property, or whether it's a property investor, or whatever the case might be, it's good to know that you're investing in something, and that will give you comfort if whatever else you could have invested in does go up.